So in this tutorial, we'll be looking at how to make a snow shader that works for flat shaded scenes or low poly scenes like the one you've seen on my screen. We're going to use Shader Forge, which is an asset that's downloadable from the Unity Asset Store. It is a paid asset. It's not a cheap asset. I think it's $90 full price. But if you watch, you can find it on discount like I did. And it's well worth the money if you're going to mess around with shaders. So to go ahead and get started, I already have Shader Forge downloaded, and if you haven't done that, you should do that now. And this is what we're going to build here. You can see here in my project, seeing these are what we're going to be using. And I'll create a link down below the video to access these if you want to follow along. I just put in a procedural skybox that looks a little bit better than the generic one. Snow Manager, which will be kind of a topic of later tutorials. We're going to build that, and that's going to allow us to control our shaders. Snow Shader, of course, that's kind of the star of these tutorials. And this is just a texture that goes on the trees and the landscape. The landscape that I have here and trees, just for the sake of simplicity, I've joined in Blender. They're all one mesh. Just keeps things nice and simple. So let's take a look at how this is going to work. If I push play and get the game going, and click here on my Snow Manager, I've already set up this script, and you can see here I have a toggle that will allow me to turn the snow shader on and off. And of course, that toggle is only working in play mode, which is why it was off, but the snow shaders were still on. So, and down below here, I also have two other settings. I got a snow level and a frost level, and the snow level is pretty clear. That's the altitude in the game world where the snow is going to start, and the frost level is effectively, this is the fade in distance, how much distance, vertical distance, before you start to see some snow effect, and it'll go from 0 snow to full snow in that distance. So let's take a look at what we can do here. First off, let's set the frost to 0 and the snow to 0. You can see there my landscape's not quite at 0. So if I drop this down, this shader fills in, okay? And the shader's not filling by polygon, it's doing by height and by pixel. So you kind of get a growth going there, which may or may not be what you're looking for. And then my frost level, if I increase that, you can see that I get a slow increase in my snow. So let's put this frost up to something like 5 and then bring our snow level back up, and you can see how it fades. It'll then fade out of the trees here and such things. So you can bring it back down. Okay. And we'll talk about the nuts and bolts of the Snow Manager here, but this is essentially just a script that allows switching between shaders on the fly.